Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I finally received my $1 knife. This one is in pretty good condition. It's got a half stop. It's a Sabre made in Japan 645. Now, of course, this was the first Sabre that I ever bought. It's also made in Japan. I don't know if it's got its model number on it. Yeah, it does. It's a 49. When they first came out, many of the Sabres didn't even have a model number. And then they started doing them with the two-digit number. And then later on, they just added a 6 in front of it. So I believe the original Sabre Hawkbill would have been a 45. But anyway, looking at this, I'm going to clean it up. Now, if this would have been my knife or a knife that had been in my family, I might leave that paint on there, you know, because I remember the time that we were painting, you know, me and my family. But since this is a bought knife, I'm going to clean that paint off. I'm basically going to try to sand these handles down a little bit. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the rust and stuff off this. Also, looking at this edge, let me zoom this guy in. This knife has never been sharpened. From what I can tell, it's never been sharpened. And it does need some work, especially the bevel back here on the end. It looks like they just used it, just the tip. They never used this part of it. But it has been, you know, it was used in construction or something. It's got a lot of life left to it, and it's got a very good lockup. When that goes in there, and man, you really, it's hard. It's hard to push that down. It's got a very good back spring on it. This is how it came. I haven't cleaned it up or anything. So I'll probably sand this down and get rid of some of all this paint and stuff. Shine it up, sharpen it up, and with shipping and everything, it was less than $7. Shipping, tax, and all that other stuff. But the original bid, like I said, for this one was 99 cents. No, and I caught it towards the end of it. It was like it was hours before the thing was going to end, instead of days. Normally on eBay you catch it and they start off with like 6 days or so. They put it up, and nobody had bid on it. And I couldn't understand why, and I thought, man, it must be broken. I looked at all the pictures, and it looked fine. And I thought, all right, when I get it, it's going to have a broken mainspring, you know, back spring here. Or there's going to be something majorly wrong with it. Now, of course, it's, you know, it's holding to one side, but it doesn't scrape. I think it's a pretty good deal. So anyways, next time you see this, I'll have cleaned it up, and it should look a little bit different, but pretty cool. So there we go. All right, and here is our finished product. This is just KPL I put in there. All right, so what I did was, this is pretty aggressive. It's like, I don't know, it's high grit. I think this is like 100, P100. And this right here, I believe, you can see it was cut off where the P would have it. But I think it's like 340. on this one, which is a lot smoother. So what I did was I took a little small cotton sampler and I scraped off the paint off here. Now I also used the cotton sampler to shape the wood a little bit to come closer to the bolster instead of, you know, sticking up as much. And then I sanded the handles also and put linseed oil on it. I haven't let it cure or anything, so I'm going to smell like linseed oil, but that's all right. I don't mind that smell. And then I sanded this down here. Let's see if we can zoom any. I sanded the metal on a blade and got rid of some of this is pitting. Now in here, this is also where that cotton sampler came in handy, because initially I dug out the, you know, the nail groove, the nail nick on both sides, you know, top and bottom with it. And then I got the sandpaper and I made a little triangle, you know, like folded like edge like that, and got up in there and tried to polish it some more. So this one has more pitting on it. And then I sharpened it. So let's get it back to where we can see. Bring out some cardboard. And, you know, like this is carpet. Yeah. Once you get in there, it cuts. Yeah. There's a, it's not super duper sharp. Yeah, it's good enough for like cutting carpet and stuff like that, or cutting electrical wires, or whatever you want to do with your little Hawkbill. And man, this thing's got a nice snap on it. It snaps open real well. Goes in a half stop real loud. I'll put the microphone right. What a snap. But yeah, snaps open. Locks in place real well. No blade play up and down, sideways. Yeah, it's a wooden handle. Sanded this a little bit more. Basically, brought it back to life. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, I didn't want to make it like super shiny or anything like that. Just, you know, just a nice little, see that KPL keeps coming out of it. Just a nice little work knife, you know, for whatever you want to Hawkbill. Oh. Now that, when I was watching the Pakistani Bowies, they had a little tool, it looked like homemade, and it looked like it was one of these, but this edge had been sharpened. And when he was cutting the leather, he'd go like this. He'd push forward with it. I thought, wow. But they still had, I think, the Hawkbill portion of it. It had more of a kind of like up flare too. I don't know. It's probably a specialized little piece of metal that they just shaped up. So there you go. There's a $7 knife. It was fun, you know, just trying to clean it up and sand it up and try to get it back to sharp. I'm going to work some more on that sharpness on it. That's just my initial edge on it. But, and I was using this crock stick to, you know, because it is a recurve kind of thing in there. Or a decurve. It's not a recurve. Let's see. A recurve would come down and go up. Well, this is just a curve. He's not recurving, he's just curving. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.